What's going on, everybody? I'm Eating Things, and you're watching Less Than Rhetorical. And as you can tell by the title of this video, and maybe the reason you clicked on it, is because we're talking about Osa today, and I call her the Forgotten Shield Operator. So far with the shield buffs, you are seeing a lot more Blitz and Monty play. Not a whole lot of Fuse play, but there is some Fuse play out there that's happening right now, Fuse Shield, but a lot of people have difficulty bringing Fuse Shield when his AK is just so good. So, in the meantime, we're seeing kind of a drop-off in our gameplay of Osa from what I have seen. Maybe that's just not the case. Maybe she's in your games all the time. There's probably somebody out there who's a statistician or somebody from Ubisoft who's a developer who's got the data on this, can tell you how many times Osa's actually picked. Her pick rate might be much higher, and that's fine. The point is, we want to talk about Osa because she is absolutely a fantastic attacker and one that's maybe a little bit slept on right now. And the big reason why I think she's so great in this particular meta right now is not even her shield, her utility, but it's her kit. And so let's talk through Osa's kit first before we get into situations where she can be used. First of all, you've got two primary weapons that are both fantastic primary weapons, each of which come with the magnified scopes if you want to play further back. I recommend using a laser sight on your scopes just to get that quick ADS time, but you can certainly go between either the vertical grip or the horizontal grip depending on the gun that you're using and your feeling of comfortability. As you can see, I run suppressor on both of these guns because they have literally no recoil. Just look at the recoil pattern on the bottom right of my screen right now. There's barely any recoil whatsoever. You can definitely control that. The advantages here and disadvantages, Thermite's gun deals, I call it Thermite's gun. It's the 5.56 XI. It deals a walloping 47 damage. So if you are shooting for body shots, you are definitely going to get a kill with only, depending on the operator that you're fighting against, you can get a kill very quickly. A couple of 3 bullets, and you've definitely got him downed at that point. Whereas the PDW9 only gives you 34 damage, but gives you an 800 fire rate. It's a headshot machine and 50 rounds within it. So if you are a really good shot with a good aim, I'd bring the PW9, but personally, I have a lot more hours in Thermite's gun, the 5.56 XI, than I do in the PW9, so the recoil control for me is a lot more proficient at this gun. Even though this gun has barely any recoil, I find myself getting more kills with the 5.56 XI, and so that's why I bring it. But her real, and there's nothing to say about the secondary weapon here. Play it however you want. I've got a suppressor on it. You don't have to have a suppressor on it. Honestly, I think I'm going to take that off. I think we're going to go muzzle brake because if I'm pulling that thing out, there's no need to be suppressed at that point. 61 damage, couple of shots, body shots, really a powerful weapon for body shots. If you've got the aim for it, the sights are a little funky on this gun. Not a whole lot more to say because she doesn't have any other options. But this is where Osa shines. 3 amazing gadgets, making her versatile and able. You can play her on every single site. Every single site. It doesn't matter the map. It doesn't matter the site. You can main Osa every single round and always have something to bring for your team. You may be on Clubhouse, for example, and working with Thermite. You can get the wall using the impact EMPs. Thermite opens the wall. You impact EMP the wall to allow him to be able to open it. You're golden. Or let's say you're bringing Thatcher and Thermite. Now you're a support operator of Thatcher and Thermite. You're going to bring the Claymores and set it outside the garage door and go up to the flat, open the wall for CCTV wall, and your Claymore is going to net you a kill, or your Claymore is going to deny someone from running out of garage, so you're safe to put your shield up there and play up there, and absolutely great utility. But even better than those two is having the frag grenade. You can get her aggro and play Osa now as a entry operator, taking her shield to peek around in certain areas without having to drone those areas. Having your teammates drone in, you're going in with your shield, so in case they miss something in a solo queue environment, you're not dead immediately because somebody's going to be shooting your shield. You can back off, pull back into a cover, chuck the frag grenade, clear somebody out of an area. You can clear utility with the frag grenade. It's absolutely, I don't know what to say. This is the best kit on an operator that I can imagine. I want an operator that gives me frag grenades in some situations, EMPs in others, and Claymores in others. I can't think of anything better than this. Okay, so here we are on Nighthaven Labs, and we've got Osa, and we're just going to demonstrate a few things that we can do with Osa's utility, just show you how to use the utility. Let's just start with a basic, what her utility is and how it can be used. Osa carries a deployable see-through shield, and as you can see, this shield was developed right here on Nighthaven, so it's good for us to be on this map. This shield allows you to have cover in your head and your body, sort of like Blitz would have, but your feet are not covered while your shield is out. So if your shield is out and you're standing, your feet are not covered. If you go crouched, your feet will be covered, and you're much better to push up crouched. You've got a smaller hitbox. But there is still a hitbox on Osa. So if you imagine Osa. Oh, this is me, this is my artwork here, guys. That's my artwork. Alright, so if you imagine Osa, her shoulders are partially visible when the shield is out. The shield goes like this and covers her head. So you can swing around Osa and shoot her shoulders on both sides of the shield if you're at an off angle. As an Osa player, you want to keep people as mostly in front of you as possible because of that very fact. The shield pulls out with a single tap of, in my case, I'm on controller, so a single tap of your RB button, your right bumper. And then if you press and hold, or if you press the RB button again, it goes away. If you press and hold the RB button, it doesn't really do anything. There is a deployable option, which is the X button. The reason I said, hold on, let me back up. The reason I said if you press and hold it, it doesn't do anything is because some people think that you have to like hold the button up while you walk around. You don't. You just tap it once and you've got your shield up. You can deploy your shield by pressing an X or whatever your keybind is to deploy the shield, and the shield is deployed. And now it's a deployable which can't be shot through. It's a bulletproof deployable shield that you can see through. And this is great because now I can line up a headshot, pop above it, and get my headshot. Just remember when you line up a headshot behind a shield, if I line up for the head and then hop up, I'm actually shooting above the head. So you want to like line up slightly below the head, pop up, and you'll be right on the head. Or do what I do, adjust your aim as you move up and down so that you're right on the head at all times. If you didn't know this belt buckle right here on doors, that is exactly head height. So if there is a door nearby the Osa shield, you can point at that belt buckle from under here and you're at head height. Now check this out. If I crouch, if I'm at head height and then I crouch and then I come back to head height, I'm still at head height. So let's do this. Put your reticle on the door buckle, crouch, and notice where you are on the OSA shield. You're just slightly above this piece right here, like right here on the OSA shield. So if you line your reticle up with my bullet hole here, or right in the middle of the handle is head height. So if you're ever questioning yourself and you're trying to get your aim right and you want to make sure that when you hop up, you're right at head height, rather than having to adjust your aim like I do, like this, if you're not very great with aim, just memorize these two spots. Right in the middle of the handle, right about here, right back here on this side, which is, you know, if you trace up this this pattern, it's right at the bottom of this part right here. And when you pop up, you're right about there at head height. Right? So just keep that in mind. That will get you some extra kills because you can pop up pre-firing exactly at head height, and you're in great shape. Let me show you a couple of tips with OSA. Things that you may know, things you may not know. If you're familiar with playing OSA, you'll notice that when you walk close to a barricade, notice my deploy next to my X button in the middle of the screen. My deploy changes colors. That indicates that I can now go right through this barricade. Now I just pressed the X but didn't actually hold it, and that broke the barricade down. I'm going to show that one more time. Yeah, I'll show that one more time right over here. Here we go. See how I did that? I pressed it but didn't hold it down. I can quickly break a barricade, hop right in, and go to work. I can run over here, pull my OSA shield out, break the barricade, and then hop right in. But you can't hop in a window with your OSA shield deployed. So if you're trying to hop in a window with OSA shield deployed, not going to work. You can, however, deploy the shield on a window or a doorway, and it expands to the right and left on the window or the doorway, allowing you to have full cover from both sides of the doorway or the window. When I sprint, my OSA shield goes away. Just be aware of that. It's not like Blitz or Monty. Blitz and Monty, you can sprint with their shield. Fuse, you can sprint with the shield up. With OSA, you cannot sprint with the shield up. Oop, I missed. There's the hand. So just be aware of that right there. The other thing you want to be aware of, do not deploy the shield while standing, because you will pop up. You notice how the animation put me right above the shield? You're going to be dead because someone will pre-fire your head while you're putting the shield down, and you're dead before you even get to react and get behind cover of the shield. But if you crouch, then you remain crouched after the shield is put up, and that allows you to remain in cover. So just be aware of that. You cannot prone while you're laying, while you have the shield deployed. So don't ever deploy an OSA shield while standing up. Also, be aware of doorways. I talked about how when you place the shield in the doorway, it expands and you get cover. It expands though after you place the shield down. Initially, while you're placing the shield, you can see the way the shield is made. There's a gap between where the shield expands and where the shield actually covers you. OSA's a big girl. She expands beyond that gap while putting the shield down. So if you're in the middle of a doorway and there's someone on the left or right of the doorway, they will be able to kill you through this gap before you ever get your shield deployed. So if you're thinking in your mind, oh guys, I'll hold this door for you. I'll stay right here and hold this door. you will die. Even if you're back this far, you will die because I'm exposed to my left and I'm exposed to my right. For anybody that's to the left and the right, they can go ahead and shoot me. You will die in the middle of a doorway. So do not do that. In fact, I wouldn't recommend putting OSA shields in the middle of doorways at all. I'd back up from the doorway and put the OSA shield down behind the doorway. This gives you the ability to play above the shield, to the left of the shield, and to the right of the shield. And so that anybody who's peeking your shield doesn't know how are you going to peek. Where do I put my crosshair? Do I put it up here? Do I put it over here? Over here? How are you going to peek behind this? I don't know. I can see you moving, but if my crosshair's here and I have to flick over here, there's a higher percentage that I will miss, but you will shoot me. So as OSA, you want to play your shield further back from things. That goes for any deployable shield, by the way. People love to put deployable shields on doorways, but the reason why you never do this, or you shouldn't do this, is because it limits the places that the opposing team has to look in order to kill you. I only have to worry about right up here now. So if I can see you, I know you're going to pop up here. You move to the left, I know you're going to pop up there. If you move to the right, I know you're going to pop up here. So I just keep my crosshair right above your head. And as I see you start in the animation to pop up, you're dead. That's how a lot of people lose gunfights with OSA without even realizing it. They're like, man, I always die with her. I don't understand it. Well, you're not playing her right. Stop putting her shield in places where you can easily get killed. Instead, put her shield in places where it's difficult for someone to figure out how are you going to peek them from the shield. Are you going to peek from above? Are you going to peek from the corner? Are you going to peek from the right or the left? Like, now they don't know where to put their crosshair, and it's so much harder for them to win that gunfight against you. That's free tip. There you go. All right. Let me talk another tip with OSA shield. When you put the shield away, it does not go on her back. She is not invincible behind, like Clash, for example. When you put her shield away, it's on her back. It's not true with OSA. So you can get shot in the back if you put the shield away. Don't put the shield away. You can also get very creative with the shield when you're outside of windows and places of the map where doorways and windows where you're rappelling above them. Notice I've got a deploy option. I've also got an enter option. So you know how I said you can't vault over a window? You can, however, get creative, rappel upside down, pull your shield out, and you can rappel in the window with your shield up. So if you're ever trying to get into a window, just rappel outside first. You can break the window using the technique I told you about. It breaks the window. I just cancel the animation before it actually places the shield. And then just hit A and jump right in. Or I can now put an OSA shield on a window like this, and I've got this little peek hole down at the bottom of the OSA shield, allowing me to have some interesting gameplay. I can peek it from over here. I can go rappel upside down on certain windows and peek from there. And I'm totally exposed. My body's exposed, but they can't shoot me because this is all bulletproof glass. But be aware of this. This is not always the best plan. I've seen a lot of people play like this, and again, it goes back to what I just taught you. There's only one area that the attacker, or defender that is, has to point their gun, and it's just this bottom strip right here. I love it when OSA places her shield like this, unless she's just a really smart OSA player and she's got some wicked one-way angle that I'm not aware of. I really like it when OSA places her shield, when OSA players place their shield like this, because it means that I only have to focus my attention on one area. Okay, let's talk about some mechanics here for a second. When you are upside down, your shield is up and down just like it is when you walk around on rappel. But when you are right side up, your shield turns left and right, which means that your body is now exposed though your head is covered. So if I'm in the middle of this window here, it looks like I'm fully in cover, but in actuality, my body is fully exposed. When I go to place the shield, it turns it back right side up, and I am covered. So when you're playing on a window with Osa, don't play on a window like this. Rappel upside down on the window so that you'll have cover. If you go to deploy your shield, make sure that it's clear in the area first before deploying your shield so that you don't get shot while deploying your shield.
Let's talk about planting for a second. Whenever you're planting with Osa, there's one very important thing to remember. You cannot look straight at the shield when you try to go to and put your plant down. I know I'm not in a place where I can actually plant right now, but if I was, and let's say that I'm going to use a smoke grenade, well, Osa doesn't have smokes. It was nice when she did, but let's say I chuck a frag grenade and then I go to plant. Oops, I accidentally picked up my shield. So the tip here is, in order to not pick up your shield, look up. Stare straight in the sky, stay crouched, but look up, and then you can plant. You can also break the shield, as evidenced right here, and that prevents anyone from being able to see you while you're in the planting animation.
You can still use it as cover. It's still bulletproof, but no one can see through the shield. If, however, you've got the shield in an area where someone, like let's say I planted behind the shield, for example, and I'm behind cover, and someone is using the shield on the defensive side as cover, down at the bottom of the shield is this little red canister. And you guys already know where I'm going with this. Anytime you see a red canister in Siege, you can shoot it and it will destroy the item, the shield, or whatever it is that it is associated with. I shoot this and the shield disappears. And so if you need to, you can destroy your own Osa shield. She gets 2 of them though, so you can always bring your second one out and push up if you need to. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a guide of all the things you need to know as far as how to use Osa. She is a slept-on operator. I think that she's got a lot of potential in a lot of situations. She's great in team play, but she's also great for solo queue. You can use her on any map. You can use her in any push. She can come in handy. She is especially paired well with Thermite. If there is a Thermite on the board and not an Osa on the board, and you don't know who to pick Osa. Follow Thermite around, and wherever he starts to breach a wall, put your shields up right outside that wall. And wherever Thermite breaches, I know there's not a wall in front of me, but just imagine that that's a breach. You know, you now have cover behind that shield. You can line up your headshot to right where you need to be. Again, middle of this guy right here. And as soon as somebody peeks out, you can get your free kill. The shields are destroyable when they are placed. The most common way that people destroy the shields is by impact grenades. So once you've got the shield placed, just make sure that you're not in a situation where if somebody impacts it, you don't have the ability to retreat or get out of there, or you don't have the ability to get your kill still.
She also pairs really well with Fuse. With Fuse, you can actually put the cluster charge in the middle of the Osa shield and then pull the button, and it will release all the cluster charges in front, and you'll get another kill. Well, Fuse will, not Osa.
Those are all my tips and tricks for Osa for now. I might have some more later down the road. If this video gets a lot of traffic, then I'll make some more videos like this. But please leave a like and subscribe, and I am on the grind to hit 50 subscribers by the end of 2024 in YouTube. So anything you can do to help me, liking the video, commenting on the video, all of those things help the YouTube algorithm. Also sharing the video with a friend is absolutely appreciated. I mean, my videos are nothing without your viewership, so I really appreciate you guys watching the video. And thanks very much for watching. I wish you the best of the rest of your day, and also peace.